Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Dre. We have a special guest here. It's a beautiful woman, and we're going to be doing something really fun and enjoyable today. It's going to be something that everybody can do in your own home, anywhere. It's very easy. So let's get this started. Introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm TC Curry. I have a website called 100 Days of Healthy that is just in its very infant stages. I was inspired by Dre because I realized that I had to completely restructure the way I was living my life. And so I was thinking about things in the past that had worked and they hadn't worked. And so I came up with some ideas about how to make this work better. One of those ideas is learning how to cook for myself, because I didn't really ever do that and didn't really know how. The whole menu planning thing is very fuzzy. So everything I do is really simple. Today's soup is actually a lentil soup.
So that is TC, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
All right.
All right.
So today's soup was inspired by this bag of sliced frozen leeks. Along with that, we have celery, and we have a surprise guest. This is a parsnip. And moving on, we have spinach. And Dre got me fresh spinach. I would use frozen because it's so much easier. But this is going to work, and it's going to look gorgeous. These are Trader Joe's steamed lentils. They're already cooked, so that will make things go really fast. For $3, you can get a bottle of wine, and it adds so much depth of flavor to the soup. The alcohol cooks off, but it really adds another dimension. And I always use broth, either veggie broth or chicken broth. I make my own. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Broth instead of water, because we're after as much flavor as possible. Today's bean is the Great Northern Bean. The white beans are a little bit more gentle in their flavor, and because we're using leeks and not a lot of onions, I thought that would be a good match. And garlic, this is just a jar of minced garlic, and turmeric, because turmeric has anti-inflammatory properties, and that's supposed to be like the best thing for you at the moment. Thyme, oregano, and rosemary. So this is a parsnip. It has a very sweet, mellow flavor. Chop the top and the bottom. I save these in a bag along with any other vegetable ends that I use, that I chop. I do the same thing with the celery in a minute. So when I get to about midway, I turn it on its end and slice it in half. This means that they'll all cook about the same doneness through. So the celery, also cut off the ends, of course, and save them in the bag. The bag, as soon as we're done, is going to go in the freezer. And when I have enough vegetables, then I pull them out and toss them in a pot with a bunch of water and let it simmer all day. And then I have vegetable stock. For celery, I also use the celery leaves because there's a lot of flavor in those. So this is what it looks like at the end. The important point here for me is about balance. And the celery is a little bit less because celery has a flavor that can overtake other things. So from here on in, it's just dump everything in the pot. So the chicken stock is already in. Just dump in the beans, frozen lentils, the entire bowl of vegetables, and then just open up the whole bag of frozen leeks. I stir it up a little bit to get a sense of if I need any more liquids. Before we add more water, I want to put in just a once around with wine. So I've added water to bring the water line up to just under the crock pot lid. And now, for the fun part, we add spices. So I start with garlic, and I really like garlic, and salt and pepper. So what I'm going to do is just make a pile of turmeric. This is a really big crock pot. So then we go with the oregano. This is thyme and rosemary. And that's it. You take the spices, you stir them in. You can see the turmeric changing the color. And turn it on and let it rip.
All right, so we put everything in the crock pot. It's sitting right now. How long is it gonna sit for?
If you cook it on low, probably 4 hours, 4 to 5. These are soups that stand up really well to a long, slow simmer, and it will taste better the next day. So what I do is we have the crock pot, we have a meal that night. I put it in the fridge, just pick up the crock pot, put it in the fridge. Then it cools down, and then the next day when all those flavors have like blended together, then I take half of it and freeze it.
And what happens if it's on a high? How long do you think it will cook for?
I would say maybe 2 or 3 hours. It depends on if you have root vegetables and how long the root vegetables take to cook.
True. All right. Well, that's it. We'll be right back. I'm gonna exercise and do some lunges. You can do whatever you want to do.
I'll lunge out.